In the papers today, I'm joined by our Nick Rushworth. Hey, Nick.
Hi, Jeannie. And of course, that rout for the ruling socialists is dominating all the coverage in the papers. Let me go straight away to Le Figaro here. That paper there saying Le tsunami bleu, the blue tsunami. Earlier on in the morning is actually saying La vague bleue. So it kind of changed that slightly, being perhaps even stronger. We're definitely seeing what is a political defeat of major proportions for the ruling socialists. Now, the Figaro, of course, is loving every minute of it. It is jubilant about this, saying, well, what we've got is more victories in the way in the Europeans, in the Senate, in the regional races. And this is really a last chance for the president. There you can see the editorial, La dernière chance for Hollande. Now, it's arguing that basically his only option now is to go for Tony Blair-style reforms, for a kind of what in French they would call a social liberal, market-driven reforms of the economy, and get away from the situation we have now, which is basically, as far as Le Figaro is concerned, steering France to a kind of Greek-style politics, and Hollande is Georges Papandreou.
You were mentioning, Nick, that idea going from the wave, la vague, to the tsunami, and that tsunami metaphor is picked up in another paper as well.
Well, that other paper is also right-wing. It's called L'Opinion, and yeah, it's definitely picking up that tsunami theme. You can actually see one on the front page, and the headline there, La déferlante. So Hollande swept away, and if you look closely, Jeannie, you can see Hollande kind of tucked away in the way there, looking forlorn. You will not see any photo of Hollande this Monday that is not forlorn of him. Now, it says that he is directly responsible. What's the consequence? Well, the PM has to go, Jean-Marc Ayrault, he's got to go. And who are the credible alternatives for L'Opinion? Well, it could be the Interior Minister, Manuel Valls, or the Foreign Minister, Laurent Fabius. Let me turn to the left-wing press. And it also is quite hard on Hollande. Libé there leading La Punition, punishment. And it agrees, Jeannie, with L'Opinion, saying, yes, what about Jean-Marc Ayrault's future? We could be learning more about that in the coming hours, couldn't we? So Libé, in its editorial, is saying, well, if there is a new team, it will have to concentrate on concrete actions. What about easing the tax burden for people who are poor in France? The paper is saying that what we're seeing here in terms of Hollande's term of office is that there will be talk in the streets. This is Hollande before the municipal elections and after the elections, so the municipal elections. So this is a really key electoral test for him.
Nick, you told us about the press on the right, you told us about the press on the left. There's one paper that is more neutral, Le Parisien aujourd'hui. What does it had to say this morning?
Well, Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France has got a picture of François Hollande, again, head bowed, looking forlorn, condamné à changer. He's sentenced to change, which again implies a reshuffle, doesn't it? That paper also is looking at one of the big winners in these two rounds of political voting that we've seen in the municipals, and that, of course, is Marine Le Pen. She's smiles all round, and she targeted a small number of key villages, towns and cities, and has emerged with what is it, around 12 key representatives for her party there'll be new politicians in France, won't they, Jeannie, that will be bubbling away and making news and the buzz. And her message, which is reported by Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France, is very much there is now a third force in French politics. What we've got is a breakaway, the end of the duopoly, the end of the PS, the Post-Socialist Party, and the UMP, the right-wing party. Now, the arrival of those politicians, again, will change the political dimensions of things. But what we've got, I think, overall, the message in the press this Monday is Hollande alone. We can see this in the cartoon Le Monde, Plantu. And there what we've got the naked emperor, if you like, Hollande with no clothes, jumping up and down saying, hey, we won Paris, we held on to Paris. Meanwhile, in the waters around him, we've got, what is it, Marianne, the symbol of France, on the boat, and that boat is sinking. So lots of water imagery, isn't there? Titanic and tsunami, and, well, not a bit of good news for Hollande.
All right, thank you so much for that, Nicholas Rushworth, for that look at the papers today, and thanks to you for watching France 24. Next for you is sports on the way, football and cycling, but it all starts right now with tennis in Miami.
Novak Djokovic claimed his fourth Miami Masters title with a resounding victory over world number one Rafael Nadal. Both had walkovers in their semis, but it was the Serbian who appeared to be the fresher of the two, taking the first set when Nadal dumped the backhand into the net. It was the 40th meeting between the world's top two players, and on this occasion, Nadal was no match for Djokovic, who followed up his Indian Wells triumph with a 6-3, 6-3 victory in Florida. In France's Ligue 1, Saint-Etienne earned the Rhone derby bragging rights following a 2-1 victory at Lyon that also kept Les Verts firmly in the hunt for the third Champions League spot. Solomon Kalou netted a late winner for Lille against Guingamp, with Rennes also picking up 3 points. PSG all but assured the title with a 13-point lead over Monaco. It was a great Sunday on Merseyside in the English Premier League. Everton won to put pressure on Arsenal in the chase for a top 4 finish. Meanwhile, Liverpool's destiny is in their own hands after dispatching Tottenham 4-0 at Anfield. It was Brendan Rodgers' side's 8th victory on the trot, pushing them 2 points clear of Chelsea at the top of the table.
We made it the game that it was because of our intensity, our focus, and the quality of our football. I don't think anyone is expecting us, for us ourselves, we go into every game to win. And I expect this, in every game that we play. But I think what's been great to see is that idea and the methodology of our work bearing fruit in the game. There's still some great teams up there, some world-class managers, so we understand it's going to be very difficult, but we just control what we can do, and if we can do that, we'll just see where it takes us, really.
European hopefuls Borussia Mönchengladbach hosted relegation candidates Hamburg in the German Bundesliga on Sunday. Jacques Zur put Hamburg ahead on 28 minutes, but their lead didn't last long as Gladbach captain Philipp Dams put away a penalty at the second attempt to equalise. The Foals then took the lead 15 minutes from time. Max Kruse picking out strike partner Rafael for the Brazilian to tuck away his 15th goal of the season. Alvaro Dominguez then made the point safe shortly after to complete a 3-1 Gladbach win. In the Netherlands, Ajax continued their march towards a 33rd Eredivisie title with a comfortable 3-0 win at home against Twente. Stefano Densville had the 51,000 inside the Amsterdam Arena on their feet after 29 minutes. Ajax always looking dangerous. Julie got their second 13 minutes into the second half. Ricardo van Rijn doing the donkey work, and Lasse Schöne with a neat finish. A 7th goal of the season in the league for the Danish international. 7 minutes later, it was all over as Davy Klaassen laid it on with Bojan Krkic on loan from Barcelona, slamming it home 3-0 Ajax. They stay 8 points clear of Feyenoord with 5 matches left to play. Lewis Hamilton won the Malaysian Grand Prix on Sunday as Mercedes continue their fine start to the Formula 1 season at the Sepang circuit. The Brits has now won at least 1 race in 8 straight seasons. Nico Rosberg made it a 1-2 for Mercedes, while 4-time defending champion Sebastian Vettel also finished on the podium after bringing his Red Bull home in 3rd. Ferrari's Fernando Alonso finished 4th for the 2nd straight time, 1 spot ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, with Jenson Button 6th and Felipe Massa 7th.
All right, coming up after the break, a historic win here in Paris.